The calendar says it's spring, so I have some drinks to totally set you up for the season. Hi, I'm Carolyn Evans-Hammond and welcome to my tasting room. Carolyn's tasting room is where you can taste exciting drinks with me. And tonight, we taste some smart spring sippers. They include the 2023 Bertrand Côte de Rosé from the Languedoc-Roussillon region in the south of France, the 2021 Tenuta Frescobaldi Castiglioni IGT from Tuscany, Italy, and the Coldstream peach iced tea from Nova Scotia, Canada. So let's taste. So the first one in our flight is a rosé from the south of France. I love it and I hope you do too. So pour yourself a glass and let's taste. In the glass, I love the color. Don't you love that? I mean, it's very luminescent. There's illusions sort of orange and pink and maybe silvery notes. Very pretty, very bright and clear, which you want because that suggests stability. And what I love here is also, yes, it's very transparent, but it's almost got a mother of pearl look to it. Do you notice that? Lovely. And on the nose, sheer, which you expect from the south of France, elusive, almost coy, but it's complex. Grapefruit, pink grapefruit, red and black currant, and a touch maybe of a floral note. Do you get that? We do know the blend is Grenache, Cinsault, and Syrah, and each of those varieties contribute something else to the glass. So therein lies a layering of complexity that we're noticing on the nose and we'll probably know on the palate too. So have a sip and see how the wine, tastes. Isn't that lovely? It floods in like liquid light. Beautiful, sheer, seamless, and as it goes in, it starts to then cascade with everything we found on the nose. Do you get that? I'm getting apricot for sure. Almost a hint of textural element to sort of the fuzziness of the outside of an apricot skin, which is great. It gives that textural dimension and it lingers on the finish and leaves your palate seasoned along with a note of brininess, hint of salinity, very south of France, lots of limestone in the soil contributing to that. You're by the sea, and on the very end, you notice red currant and strawberry, so that red fruit comes back. Precision, complexity, balance, round, long, great value for money for a bottle. It costs less than $20 in Canada and less than $15 in the US. And suddenly I want, big bowls of chilled shellfish. So the second one in our flight is red. It's a 2021 Tenuta Castiglioni by Frescobaldi. And what I love about this wine is its lift, elegance, and drinkability. So pour yourself a glass and let's taste. First in the glass, there's great depth of color, but this isn't a really rich, full-bodied wine. You know that because you glance at the label and it says 13% alcohol, which means it's a medium-bodied wine, sort of light to medium. So there's lots of color, but don't let that deceive you. Give it a swirl and a sniff. Isn't that great? Now this does not smell like Chianti, does it? And that's because it's not pure Sangiovese. Instead, this is an IGT wine. It is actually a super Tuscan style blend, which is to say it's a blend of French grape varieties with just a splash of Sangiovese. So you're getting some Cabernet Sauvignon, some Cabernet Franc, some Merlot, and a splash of Sangiovese. So we'll look at that when we taste it. We'll look for those layers of complexity because each variety will be contributing something different to the palate. So have a sip and let's experience it. First thing you notice is just how seamless it is. Do you notice that? It tastes polished. Everything hangs together beautifully. and that's because it's impeccably balanced. There's no acid showing through. There's no heat from the back of the palate from the alcohol showing through. The tannins are wonderfully polished so they don't grip at all too much. They're just sort of like, they just lend just enough structure, and the fruit concentration is in balance with all the other elements, making it taste shiny, bright, and beautiful. Let's have one more taste and see how it's expressing itself. Do you get that? Blueberry, cherry, blackcurrant, hint of cocoa powder maybe, a little bit maybe even of cinnamon and star anise and baking spices. That's coming from some time spent in barriques or oak. So you're getting the spicy underpinnings emerge on the finish, linger, persist. This has got great length. So it's a great wine, you know, at the table. I would have this with pizza for sure. I would have it with grilled pizza, yes. I'd have it with salmon even. And yes, you know, things like meat and mushrooms off the grill. And the third drink in our flight is actually an RTD, otherwise known as a ready-to-drink cocktail. It is the Coldstream iced tea peach flavor. And what I love about this is it's actually made with Tetley tea, one of my favorite brands, and natural peach flavor and premium vodka. And it's also made in Nova Scotia. So there's no additives, no preservatives. It's just, you know, like homemade. So pour yourself a glass and let's taste. Now, I have it on ice. I have it on one large cube. And the reason for that is the cube melts slowly. So it's not going to quickly dilute my drink, but it will remain nice and chilled. So pour yourself a glass and let's taste. Now, we don't usually, you know, smell iced tea, but I'm doing so here because this is a technical tasting and it smells clean. You know, whether it's a wine or another beverage, you can always nose it because your nose or your olfactory glands are far more sensitive than your palate. So if you look for off-putting aromas, it's an easy win. It's an easy way to assess the quality. So go ahead. Clean for sure. And yes, Tetley tea, and yes, peach, but real peach, like chin drip peach that you've just plucked off the tree in the summer. Perfect. And on the palate. Isn't that delicious? Oh my goodness. This tastes like chin drip peaches. Beautiful. Or maybe, you know, the peaches that you're slicing and cutting and making into jam. It's beautiful, and I love that pristine flavor. I think that's why this is such a big seller. It's one of Canada's best-selling RTDs right now, and I think that's why. So have another sip, and let's look for what the tea is like, because tea, when it's oversteeped, can be tannic, it can be aggressive, it can be too grippy. Let's see. No, isn't that perfect? You're getting the tea leaf flavor, but in a very pure way. There's none of that aggressive tannin. There is no real tannin going on, just flavor. I love that. So the mouthfeel is wonderful. It's crisp and clean. The flavor concentration is nice and intense, but not too intense. And there's just a kiss of sweetness to balance everything out. So I just love this drink. I hope you do too. And it's a kind of drink you can, you know, throw on ice and serve to friends in the back garden or something like that. Or maybe, you know, have a can of it well chilled on the dock with your feet in the lake. So there you have it. Smart spring sippers to kick off the season. Which one did you like best? Let me know. Hit me up on social. And don't forget to like and subscribe, because I'm coming right back with another flight of delicious wines, spirits, and other drinks here on Carolyn's Tasting Room, so you can drink better and learn how.